So yeah, they're quite good. They're quite tough to beat, I think. Once you get a nice mass of them, and yeah, not needing chemistry is the big kicker there. It's That's the thing. So not needing chemistry. Chemistry is something that annoys me a bit. The point of chemistry. The point of chemistry was that, as you can see there, required for gunpowder units. My issue, my big issue with the Three Kingdoms DLC was that this technology is broken in many different places. And someone may say, "Oh, but conquistadors," and I'll go, "Well, at the very least, conquistadors are in a castle, and you have to go and drop a castle." The breaking with fire lancers, wherever they are, they're not actually on this page because Shu don't get them. But fire lancers and grenadiers and traction trebs are annoying to me because you have opened up regional or unique units that only require 175 wood to unlock, and you get them, especially these two, you get them at the start of Castle Age, just like that. And they're gunpowder units. Georgian unique gunpowder units. If Grenadier was locked behind chemistry and they also got chemistry in Castle Age, different. If Fire Lancers maybe didn't get their gunpowder attack until chemistry, that would be different. Right? So you can still mass the Fire Lancer, you can still get this like anti-skirm, anti-cav, like Flemish militia like unit. But you don't get the gunpowder part until you get chemistry. That would be awesome. Traction trebs are different because they replace normal trebs. Yeah, but they shouldn't. They just shouldn't be. They should get normal trebs and then get traction trebs from chemistry. Like that should just be their bombard. If it's their bombard cannon, it should be their bombard cannon. So that's my big problem with we broke the point of chemistry, which is to unlock gunpowder units. The idea, the concept of this game, Dark Age, Feudal Age, Castle Age, Imp, you go through the ages, you unlock things as a result of technologies that became available in those times, and chemistry was used for the gunpowder, and then we are allowing civs to break that and get gunpowder units out without chemistry. Now, mangonels, I think, technically are gunpowder units. The difference with a mangonel is that it's all, or rocket cart, it's all 50 civs. Every single civ gets this. So when you're opening it up to everyone, it's okay. If humans got mangonels in Feudal Age, that would be a little bit of a problem. But they don't. They get rams. But yeah, that's my issue with mainly Grenadier Fire Lancer. And traction trebs fall under that bracket as well. I understand why traction trebs don't, and why they are in their own bracket, but it still breaks the rule, and it annoys me. Um, yeah, they introduced a lot of things in this last DLC, which some of them are good. I did like Hera's point of view, where he said they're introducing a lot of mechanics from games that have failed in their franchise, and now they're introducing them to the one game that has worked. I find that funny. I don't know about the other Age of Empires games and what those mechanics are that they've brought in. Catan's camel trebs. I know nothing about the camel trebs because Catan games don't last that long. They make step lances and they win. These mounted trebs, they're siege cavalry. Ooh. So they're good against units, right? They're not good against, yeah, tight groups of units. They're not really buildings. I guess it follows the same path. Actually, no, this one is more annoying. This is the bombard cannon replacement. But I guess if it's not considered gunpowder, then it's different. But they leave lingering fire on the ground. I don't know. It depends on if you consider them a gunpowder unit. I don't know if that's a gunpowder unit. Maybe it is. It's a siege unit. Siege, gunpowder. I don't know what the projectile is. I need to actually see it. They are camel. They are friendly camels. But yeah, it's attack and range from the university. So it is impacted by chemistry. So yeah, I guess maybe in that case it should. I don't know. Don't know. Maybe. If it is a bombard cannon replacement, it probably should be hidden behind chemistry. You probably should require that to unlock. Yeah. I'm going to put that in the same boat. So yeah, there's my annoying comments that I feel like we broke. Other DLCs broke rules, and there's been a lot of rule breaking. There's been rule breaking with mule carts. There was rule breaking with fortified churches. There was rule breaking with getting things in an earlier age, whether it be the Cavalier or chemistry for Bohemians. There was rule breaking with things like humans and TCs. Things broke. Rules were broken. And I guess another main rule breaking was like unique units not from castles became a thing. So sergeants, donjons broke what was the original AoE2, like, can't think of the word. It broke whatever was the staple of AoE2. This latest DLC broke a lot of rules. And that's why, yeah, look, they're fun. In isolation, a lot of fun. Sure. But all together, and then the history buffs hated it because the Three Kingdom civs themselves, the Shu, the Wu, and the Wei, kind of break the timeline a bit, which also were broken by the Romans. But yeah, it's just more reasons for people not to like it. And Slaters, you put a really good point out there. We've got another DLC coming in February, and if you think about how many rules they broke for the Three Kingdoms, the last chieftains, they're gonna have to go hard again. If they just release 3 generic archer infantry civs and a cav civ, it looks like one of them is going to have cavalry. There is going to be... There has to be new mechanics. There has to be new things come in. There has to be new upgrade. Like, something is going to be different. I'm expecting to see the eagles that shoot soccer balls. Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking like free fletching, free bracer. Potentially, we don't have a free bodkin. Like, we don't have a civ that gets that for free. We got civs that gets the other. Koreans get this for free. Magyars get this for free. Actually, no one gets this one for free, do they? And then Malay get the infantry armor. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a civ that actually gets Fletching and Bodkin for free. Well, the other one I want to know, I was thinking about this. I was watching a video the other day. Every single civ bonus that is free is automatic, except for the Goth Loom. All the other ones that are free. I know this says researched instantly. So I would like, if Fletching and Bodkin was free, I would still like it to be locked behind a blacksmith, as you're saying, Slaters, right? Exactly. We're on the same page. At the very least, behind a blacksmith, and you have to click the button. If it's just automatic upon hitting the next stage, that would be a problem. That would be a big problem. That would be a massive timing problem, wouldn't it? Be a massive timing problem. And that's right. Think about how many things they could do and how many ways they could open variety into civs if they didn't have things that were free. Or sorry, they didn't have things that were instant and free. They had them just locked, or they had them free, but they had them locked behind the building. You still had to click the button. Like Catan's, did they need them doubled? Did they need them? Yeah, or even the Romans, maybe like some of the doubled ones. Yeah, the doubled ones are fine. Well, I don't know, but just things that infantry armor upgrades free. Why do they need to be? Why do they need to get it instantly? Why don't they just have to click it? Damage over time from arrows is sure to come. Yep, that's... Well, fire archers have got it, but that's a bit more against buildings, right? It is against units too. But, yeah, it'll be poison, right, as you're saying. Something... They'll call it something different. It might work differently. It might last longer. We've seen poison stuff with the wildlife already, the Komodo dragon. So this is epic stuff, right? They're going to go wild. I'm intrigued to see what they do with water, whether there's going to be a cannon galleon alternative for these civs, and whether some of the things I've seen is whether a unit like the Slinger is actually going to turn into a regional unit instead of a unique unit for the Inca. So apparently the Slinger would work for a few other of the civs that are coming in, so that could be an interesting change. The Scout versus Eagle change, who's going to get Eagles, who's going to get Scouts, what will happen regarding the potential for just anything else. So they're going to get Trebs, who knows at this point. Like they might not get Trebs, they might get a castle, they might not get castles. That's what's next. I know that there are civs that get, like, the Bulgarians have got the Krepost, but I'm just waiting for a civ that just flat out doesn't get the castle building. There's my hot take right there. There's my hot take. I reckon one of the 3 civs is not going to get a castle. That is like what's missing here. Range, we've seen everything done. Barracks, we've gone crazy. We're getting gunpowder units, we're getting wood gold gunpowder units out of the barracks at the start of Castle Age. Siege Workshop, we've seen it all. We've seen Scorpions no longer being a thing, we've seen Mangonels being changed, we've seen Bombard Cannons changed, we've seen Rams be changed. Blacksmith is the blacksmith. The Dock is starting to get some variety to it, but yeah, that's the thing. Unis, the Unis are building, the Uni and the Blacksmith are buildings that may not change. I can't see civs not getting these buildings and getting something else. We've seen civs that don't get Stonewall. We've seen civs... we've seen a civ that gets a donjon instead of a tower line. We've seen civs that get not monasteries. We've seen civs that don't get farms. We've seen civs that don't get camps. The only things that are left are civs that don't get town centres and civs that don't get castles. One of those two will be broken, I don't know what they're going to do. If they break and they don't need a town centre, that would be hilarious. It's just going to be a different... Yeah, they'll get something that's not a castle that will do the same thing as a castle, but it won't be called a castle. And it will just have ever so slightly different stats. And they'll call it something else. And they can do that. Actually, this is the last point before I end, because I'm on a roll here. I'm going to keep going. We have mini castles with the Krepos, but they get access to the castle. They need to... If the Bulgarians didn't get castles, that would be better. Not better, but that would be my point. I want them to flat out not get the building. Someone needs to not get the building. My last point. If you're going to do things and start breaking rules, then you need to go back and fix the civs that would benefit from these rules. If the Mongols were a thing, if the Mongols were being created in 2026, the Mongols would not get knights, I don't believe. And the Mongols would get access to Genghis Khan as a hero. If the Celts were being created now, William Wallace would be a hero. Apparently, they would also use pastures and not farms. You can go through a few of the others. I don't know if there's any others that are great in terms of heroes. But if you're going to say that heroes are a thing, then the Mongols specifically should have Genghis Khan as a hero. Because he is the Mongol civilization. Like, that is what it is. Like, that's just... When you think of the Mongols, you think of Genghis Khan. The Three Kingdom heroes are the campaigns. Like, I believe it's... I haven't played them yet, but I believe you use the hero in the campaigns. There's a few campaigns around that have their heroes in them, and it's a your hero cannot die sort of thing. Some of the earlier ones don't actually do it. Some, like Georgians, have got Tamar, Franks have got Joan of Arc. I think Burgundians have got the odd. Their heroes as well. Sometimes you're not allowed to lose them. There's certainly scenarios where you have to not lose certain units. Jan Žižka with the Bohemians, I feel like that, said it before on stream, went to Prague earlier this year. He's a king over there. Yes, Jan Žižka should probably be a hero in the game. He should probably be a hero in the game. So there's a few civs where their guy is just as big as the Three Kingdom civs that have their heroes. So if you're gonna go down this path, go back and make it the same for... Apply the same rules to the others. Apply the same rules to the others. I wouldn't like it. I'd rather them not. I'd rather them... Like, the heroes are... They weren't as impactful as people thought in the end. I think they're okay. Like, they weren't game-breaking. Other things are just weird. Other things are really weird. I hate the... Yeah, we've spoken about it.